When they first came up with the idea of the roundabout, I have to say I was pretty hesitant about it.
Initially it was a concern. I mean, not having seen roundabouts here in Lake County before.
We all had concerns. A lot of us were not used to roundabouts, and so we were unsure how it was going to work.
Today I'm standing at the intersection of two county highways, Riverwoods Road and Everett Road, home of Lake County's first modern roundabout. Unlike a typical intersection where traffic comes together and stops and waits for their turn to go, a modern roundabout is designed for traffic to move, slow down as they enter the roundabout, yield with the traffic inside the roundabout, and then proceed through, actually making the intersection more efficient. Roundabouts are also seen as safer intersections. About 10 years ago, the Lake County Division of Transportation began studying these type of intersections. We traveled to nearby Indiana and Wisconsin to see how those communities designed and built their roundabouts, how they functioned, and see what kind of intersections would work to convert into a roundabout. We identified 3 locations for this type of intersection: Hunt Club Road and Millburn Road, Hunt Club Road at Wadsworth Road, and Riverwoods and Everett Road where we're standing here today. In 2006 we began the design and planning for these roundabouts. We met with area stakeholders and residents in the area to see what concerns they had with this type of roundabout. Though many of them were excited about the idea of us reducing congestion at these intersections and making them more efficient, they also had many concerns, such as how they navigate through them. Would cyclists and pedestrians be able to travel through them safely? Would large trucks, school buses, fire trucks be able to navigate them efficiently and safely? Would winter maintenance, would snowplows be able to plow these correctly? We continued on with our design, and then in 2010 we opened our first modern roundabout here at Riverwoods and Everett Road. With the opening of that roundabout, many of those concerns that were raised, though they were addressed during those design stages, a lot of people came to realize that these roundabouts do work, that they are efficient, they work well. In the rest of this video, you'll hear from other members of our community about how these roundabouts have changed their lives, how they have affected them, made them more efficient.
When they first came up with the idea of the roundabout, I have to say I was pretty hesitant about it. I'd spent a lot of time in New England and driven on those crazy roundabouts around Boston, and staff put it on hold. They got me more information, and then I started noticing that they were in other places. They were in North Carolina, they were in upstate New York and other places, and staff assured me, they said, these are different. You know, they've engineered these. So I looked at the models staff had, I read about them more, and then I felt pretty confident. But then the next task was to make my community feel confident. And they had all the same concerns that I did. And I got a lot of calls from concerned people. Once a month, I would easily get some phone calls, and they'd say there's going to be accidents, people are going to be hurt, this is a really bad idea. And I have to tell you, it's been in about 2 years now. I still get calls all the time from people, or they see me in the street, they say, Ann, I love that roundabout. It totally took care of the problem.
We've experienced no problems with the roundabouts as far as navigating emergency vehicles through them. Frankly, looking at these intersections behind us here at Hunt Club in Millburn and Hunt Club in Wadsworth, in the past when we had the 4-way stop, these intersections would have long lines of traffic. Okay, it was backed up for, half a mile. And I think that aside from the decrease in accidents, which we've seen at least a 75% decrease in serious accidents here at these intersections, and fatal accidents we've seen literally 100% decrease. These roundabout intersections eliminate essentially head-on crashes and right-angle crashes, which are some of the most dangerous and crashes that cause these fatal accidents. The proper way to enter and navigate a roundabout: you enter, you slow your vehicle down, you watch for other motorists, and you enter when it's safe to do so and proceed around the circle. Simple as that.
I'm standing at, I guess it would be the southeast corner of Everett and Riverwoods Road, although hard to call it a corner since the roundabout is behind me. And this is a project that the partnership between the county and Lincolnshire and Mattson was also involved on this to improve traffic flow at this intersection, which was formerly just a 4-way stop sign. For decades, this intersection was a 2-way stop sign, then a 4-way, and then as the area grew and more traffic started to build up in the area and the congestion got rougher, there was a plan to look to do something to improve this intersection, and the first thought had been to put in a conventional traffic signal, which none of us were too enthused about. So nothing was done for years, and then finally some ideas came. It was the county who came up with the idea that said, why don't we experiment with a roundabout and see how this works? And so far it has worked quite well, as you could probably see behind me. Traffic just flows right around us. No stopping, no wasting fuel, and no backing up traffic, so it works well.
We all had concerns. A lot of us were not used to roundabouts, and so we were unsure how it was going to work. And we had a couple of bus drivers that used that 2 or 3 times a day that were very negative, shall we say, on it. You know what? They were afraid at first that it wouldn't be big enough for them to go around, but it's plenty big enough. And they have even come in. The one that was so negative on it even come in and says, "I have to admit, I was wrong. This is really much better than it used to be. Everything's, is very smooth." Well, we noticed a marked improvement in our traffic flow here on Riverwoods Road, to where every day when I would leave around 5 o'clock, it would be backed up all the way down past the school. Very rarely is it backed up anymore. The traffic just flows much smoother than it used to.
Well, our original concerns were that due to the size of our vehicles being so large lengthwise and width, they might not be able to maneuver within the roundabout and make that turn safely without causing any kind of damage to our vehicle or to any other vehicles. So that was our original concern when we first learned about the roundabouts. After it was installed, we did come out here and do some driver's training on the roundabouts, because most of our members did not understand. It's not a common thing in the area to have a roundabout, so we did some driver's training to just get used to maneuvering and how the cars interact in the roundabout, how they're supposed to yield, how we're supposed to yield. So we did just do some driver's training, and it did help us out. Doing emergency response, we'd have to go in the oncoming lanes through a lot of traffic to get through that intersection. So it was precarious at times, and I think this has alleviated that hazard aspect of it.
It could be a little bit tight because the turning radius of our equipment is a short radius. So we have to really slow down, which may not be a bad thing, but we really have to slow down and take the turn right so that we don't rub the tires up against the curb or actually override the curb in order to negotiate that turn. With the equipment and stuff that we're using at the present, they're able to negotiate the turn.
We anticipated problems and we did not have any. It has worked much better than we thought it would.
Flows, smoothly. It moves, and we see no problems with it.
We haven't heard any complaints about it at all. So with that being said, I don't think there's too much concern for them.
Well, the advice I would say is come to Riverwoods and Everett Road and drive it a few times. Try different approaches from different directions. I think you'll be sold on it.
It's unbelievable, the change it makes. And I tell anyone who's looking at a roundabout in their area, I say if it works half as well as the one did in my district, you are going to be thrilled.
You have just heard testimonials from various stakeholders regarding modern roundabouts in Lake County. Roundabouts are community friendly. They reduce pollution and fuel consumption caused by congestion. In addition, they reduce the length of turn lanes and they calm traffic. Roundabouts increase the traffic capacity of an intersection by 30 to 50%, thereby reducing congestion. Most importantly, roundabouts improve safety by removing the opportunity of 90-degree or T-bone crashes and reduce severe crashes that cause injury by up to 75%. The Lake County Division of Transportation will continue to evaluate the effectiveness of modern roundabouts at intersections along our county highways. We recognize that they are not appropriate at all intersections, but where they are the right choice, we will work to construct them, just like the one at Cedar Lake and Monaville that you see here today. You can find more information regarding modern roundabouts by logging onto our website.